murdering terrorists are now just fine with the droning of fellow citizens. What's going on in this country? It's certainly not the country that I grew up in. I'm 60 years old. And who is this president? And I ask everybody, what's next if Americans can be killed on our own soil? May God bless America. Thank you so much for your time.
But this is more than just this issue of drones used domestically. Due process rights throughout our country's history have followed American citizens wherever they go around the globe. And this issue about whether one is an enemy combatant, that is something that should be determined in an adversarial proceeding. The executive branch should not have the right to make a unilateral decision about whether one is an enemy combatant and then acting on the evidence that they have gathered and acting on their determination of who is an enemy of the United States, go out and kill that person overseas when that person is a U.S. citizen. I am surprised that those such as Bernie Sanders have not given support to the efforts of Rand Paul to stop this nomination, and I am appalled that the leadership of my own party is so inconsistent with their views on the importance of the Fifth and the 14th Amendments.
All right, that's Joe in Bethesda, Maryland.
For maybe 100 years or so, power's been gravitating and gravitating and gravitating and going to the presidency. Not just the presidency. When people talk about the bureaucracy, these are people who are within the executive branch, millions of them.
Richard's in Coldwater, Michigan, independent line. Richard, you're on the Washington Journal. What do you think about the use of domestic drones?
Are you kidding me? This should be just completely outlawed. Take these weapons out of the hands of these people. I mean, they've declared war on America now. Come on. We all got to kind of wake up. There is a Constitution out there. It's very easy to read. It's not been amended. What they do is they legislate around it, and then they call that law. This is junk law. And, you know, they're worried about people getting upset about this. Well, people should be upset about this. I mean, what's it going to take in this country for people to stand up and say, hey, quit stripping every right we have. We get these rights from God, and we get naturally, when you're born, you have these rights. The Constitution is supposed to restrict the government from infringing upon any of these rights at any time. It's gone completely the other way. I mean, people think we actually get rights from the Constitution. No, they're to protect our rights, and that's the job of government. So as Ron Paul famously said, it's time for the country to ask a question. What is the role of government here? And I'm tired of these socialists, and you call them what they are. So it's not.
All right, Richard, we're going to leave your comments stand there. That's Richard in Coldwater, Michigan. And
call them what they are.
Oh, it's not Democrat and it's not Republican. For God's sake, just stop with all that.
I'll leave your comments stand there. That's Richard in Coldwater, Michigan. And this is Nelson, a Republican in Somerset, Massachusetts.
Okay. Good morning, Peter.
Hi.
What I'd like to say is, first of all, there's no party that gets everything right on any issue, as far as our government's concerned. But the one perspective that I would like to bring forth to the American people is the perspective that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights were to protect the people and to protect the people from their government. So, and the right of the people, if they chose to overthrow their government, to be able to do so. So this is where people should look at it from that perspective. Are we being protected so that we could, if we had to, overthrow our government? So that's all I'd like to say.
It is possible, Attorney General Holder wrote to Senator Paul, I suppose, to imagine an extraordinary circumstance in which it would be necessary and appropriate under the Constitution and applicable laws of the U.S. for the President to authorize the military to use lethal force within the territory of the U.S. For example, the President could conceivably have no choice but to authorize the military to use such force if necessary to protect the homeland in the circumstances of a catastrophic attack like the one suffered on December 7, 1941 and September 11, 2001. Again, that's the Attorney General's letter dated March 4th, independent line. Dan, go ahead with your comments.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
This is quite bizarre. If we take a look at what's happened in our country over the last 12 years, since 19 hijackers armed with box cutters apparently took over our country, our government has come together. They've come together and seized the rights of American citizens. That's where they have come together. Just the other day, the FAA announced that box cutters are allowed on planes again.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere. Oh, no weapons over there. Maybe under here.
No more war pigs have the power.
I have two words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking? You will never see it coming. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking? Joking. Joking. In the coming hours and days, my administration will keep the American people fully informed.
Border Patrol agent Brian Terry was gunned down near the Mexican border last December. At least 2 assault rifles from ATF's Fast and Furious case were found at the scene. Fast and Furious allowed thousands of weapons to be sold to suspected traffickers from Mexican drug cartels.
Nobody will ever let you know. When you ask the reasons why, they just tell you that you're on your own. Fill your head all full of lies. You bastards!
I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking, into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Every American's paycheck will get considerably smaller.
So as Ron Paul famously said, it's time for the country to ask a question. What is the role of government here? And I'm tired of these socialists, and you call them what they are. So it's not Democrat and it's not Republican. For God's sake, just stop with all that. Hello?